Thank you for coming. It's my honor to have such a great colleague here from the university side and also from the practical part. Yesterday I've been informed that we have here the professor from universities. We have also the colleague from the different field of the stomatology, the dentistry. We have the periodontist here. Really, it's a great honor. Thank you for your time. Alex gave a nice introduction, and from the first time that I came somehow connect to this technique, I was in the same position that you are sitting in here. It means that I was looking to the new things that for me was a little strange, a little new. I could accept the possibility to try it. I start to go touch this technique by not believing that it works. The theory is 28 years span, and some guy coming to me that's saying to me after 28 years you have it. So I try to go step by step, as we do in the universities. For all of us is known that to be proved any step, then we can come with it out. That not be just repeating something, just saying that we done that it came. So of course, for all of us, it's one of the most important things in all the kind of the research and all kind of the work that we have in the office. Is important to be proved that the things that we are giving to our patient is not because someone says, but because there is somehow is proved before. For our students, when we have it in the university, for our patients when they are coming to treat, and maybe one day the patient can be our member of the family. So I think that this is the way that even all of us will step to. There is the different way to reach to the things. There is maybe in the still is not more needed, but there is one very short. Alex, just a moment. Technical. This is a little short video I have from this video because of two reasons. Just the end I will talk about it, but maybe some of you know this video from the websites that ever you saw this video? I have a reason why I'm showing it to you. I have a big reason. There is a different way to do the things. There's a really different way to do the things. Maybe they reach to the destiny in this way, but we know that we can do it in the much more convenient way. We are almost in 2020 in some ways. So I think we have the possibility to understand that none of us, we wish to have such a position, but we wish to have such a position in the treatment of the implants. But some of the colleagues say that I'm not doing the implants, I'm doing another implants. So of course it has to be technique as augmentation that is used for all the things that we can do it for our patient. So very simple, we know that we have the composite material. We know that we have the xenografts. We know that we have the alloplasts. From some company we have allograft, we have isograft, but also we have the same individual. This, we call it autografts. It's known for all of us. I go really fast from this because I know that all of you know these things better than me. So what we have from the extraoral side, in the maxillofacial surgery, almost are using it. We have the intraoral that we are using in the orthodontal surgeries. And the intraoral we have from the chin, we can use from the systoles, we can use from the torus, it can be from the ramus, it can be from the tuberosity, but all of those things give us the second side of the operation. All of you that you are doing this technique, you know that you have one side and you have the second side of the operation. It means a twin incision. But then we can use the dentine. So now we are saying that, okay, from the view of the classification in class 5B, so we know that we have the different way and different places. And now we are going to see that what is the aim. Our aim at all is to have the autogenous bone from the human tissue, and we can have it as the feelers that give to us in the end the real bone. When we are saying the real bone, a lot of us have tried a lot of materials, and I will show to you later the pictures that my understanding of the real bone, it means the tissue that is alive, the tissue that is working, the tissue that has a blood cells, not just a feeler. Now when you're drilling in it, you feel that you're drilling some kind of the material, some ceramic materials or something different. So the idea came, and we know that from the theoretical part of everything, we have very similarity to the dentin and the bone. So this is known for us from school. We know it, our students are reading that is how much the bone and the dentin, they have a similarity. Almost there is less than 2% difference between them. So what goes is very important for us is the collagen that is almost 18% of the material that we have the fluid, like 10%. Non-collagenous proteins is really like 2%. We have the mineral bonding proteins, and we have the matrix bonding proteins. And also the rest of the materials that is really similar to the bone. Now, we are going to understanding what is the difference between the mineralized bone and the mineralized the dentin we have. So we know that almost the difference is between the amount of the serine that is between these two materials. It's not really basically a big difference between them. So the idea could work, and based come to studies. One of the studies that you can find also the refer of the study, you can find it. They tried the vista rat. They take from the bones, from the defects, they filled it with the bone graft from the bone side and from the teeth side. And after the control side, they found out that the part that it was fulfilled the defect with dentin, it was more stable. So it could be nice information that we need the long-term stability. So it comes again, the study goes more and more. Then we wanted to say that if we found the last place. So if we found the last place or not in the dentin material, the company came to us and gave to us the opportunity that we can have the dentin and the time and the pictures that we already know that. So, but it was the information we need to prove. You are also sitting here to see that what proof and around of it is. So, what we've done in our university, and another universities get together, there is one of the nice studies that it shows to us in the 40, in the 100, in the 200, and in the 400 time manufacturing, you can see that how the bone starting to really grow. It's not the filler. For me personally, as periodontist, we know that it's important that we don't have some like the valium to work with, but we have the things that we have the new bone formation. Also, we know it from the studies that how acting the cells. The cells, we have the biomaterial that it can be really acceptable to stay in the tissue as a biocompatibility. But this is not the real things that in these days we wish to have it. There is very short video. This video shows that the enamel from the upper side, how the cell is not attaching to the enamel. It goes to enamel, it's biocompatible, it's not fighting, it's just coming back. It's from the Brno University. So it shows us that from all the things that we are thinking and we are respecting it, it's just a filler, it's not the things that really we wish to have. So in the compare of maybe this short video, that you can see the proliferation of the cells on the surface of the titanium. they are not getting away from the surface of the titanium. When we talk about the implant treatment, so this is the way that we look at the implants, that how come the oscillation happening on the titanium surface? In this way, it means that they can stay and they can go, they are not getting away. So this is the difference between the titanium and the feelers that it can make by non-denting part of the piece. So this is the reason that why I'm saying that the denting is okay, but the enamel is not. But the enamel is a biocompatible material, but it's not a disintegrated material. Okay, so say that a lot of studies. All of these studies, you can find it, is one of them is saying about the surface attachments, that how they can start to get grown. We have also, you can check whole articles. Then there is a study of the growing of the around of the surface. It is from the New York University, from the college. Then we start to have it by our own department of the histology. So we get into the material before and less, after the processing, and from our department of the histology came for us such pictures. These pictures is just getting to prove that what we got, the material from the company, it really was working like this. Alex knows it well, that really I've done that. I came step by step to reach from each of these facts from our rules. So we understand that it really is a picture coming from the Common University, it's from our department. So we understand that it works in the theoretical part, and we need to take this theoretical part and in lab working into the office and give it to our patient. So, this is not a picture from me, this is a picture that you can find it, but if you can see the similarity, you find that it's really we have the material that is scaffold and give the home to growing of those osteoblasts. And if they start to grow, and if they are the autogenous material, so what does it mean? It means that we have the perfect environment to have the perfect regrowing and reforming of the hollow structure. That is the aim of augmentation and concentration. So, what we do, this machine gives us the opportunity to have the block forming and the powder forming. But which kind of powder forming? All we know the augmentation material, you have the dry powder, except the Italian company that they are making this in the wet condition. Some of them you can add to it the serum and you can have it like the paste, some of them they paste, so they are higher prices, but almost we know the granulate from the bias company is like the dry powder. You have to process, you have the handling, you have to know how to handle the material. But the technique was something that is sticky and you can handle it very easy. So it was the big advantage. So now we are collecting the advantage of the technique, that why I have to use this technique in our office. So it comes the next advantage that it's really work like this. It's really, if you're looking at just this picture, it's keeping upside down and it's sticky. So then there is another studies that say that the bone regeneration using the dentin matrix depend on the degree of the demineralization and the particle size. It's really nice study. It gives us the information that if we do this demineralizing of the dentin in not the right way, in any human factor mistake, then we cannot respect the answer in the right and in the correct and the design that we wish. It means the answer all the time it will be somehow the problematical. You will have the more resorption there, or you will have the more fillers than those concentrating materials. For this, it's important that the process, it will be controlled, that we know that the process is going all the material that we need in all the control system. For this, is giving the automatic system that is giving the dose in this certain amount that it have to be, it giving us the heating, it giving us the vibration. It's not depending if I'm in Croatia, or if I'm in Slovakia, or if I will go to the Stockholm, or if I will go out South Africa. I mean, it's not the sense of the material, how is the temperature of the room. It is not the manual. And it's not important if I need to work in my office to make the implants and make the cleaning of the site for 10 minutes or for 14 minutes. I know that material, the system is done, the material augmentation is there, and I can use it after the processing, like for example, half an hour. So this is important, because if I reach to the moment that I have to do it manually, so I cannot stand there for the minute of 6 till 7 or 5. There is a question, why 6, why 7, why 5? Okay, no one answered me, but the next question is this one: what if I am doing my job? So I cannot run to the manual working. You remember the video, I cannot do the manual working. So for this we are saying that let's do it in the way that it's supposed to be, and this study showed us how it is important to have a certain level of the demineralization each particle. We have another study that collagen biology for the bone regeneration surgeries shows us that how it can work. So there is a lot of study from all around the world. It is not the idea of one or two guys, it's different universities. It came the idea that tooths, they were bone graft material. It is nice to say that autogenous bone can be used as a potential bone graft materials. Why is important? Because we know that even in the case that after the extraction we want to use it in the later on, it can be available for us. So we have also another studies from the bone forming that we can see in this study. We can see a study from this part. We have the new bone. Here we have the dentin particle. And in this part we have also very, very nice the recapitulation of the region. So this is important. We have the picture of it from our office. They are just studies. So what we have to see after study papers, let's say, then we can do it in our office. This is the nice remodeling study from long-term follow-up that shows us that how the mineralized dentin matrix can give us the build-up in the buccal side of the wall, studies, and how they are. So is look like. It's just look like till this moment that we got the gold medal, because everything shows to me that it has to work. What is important for me is this one, that is that will work in my office also in the same, and do I reach to the same result? If yes, it's great. If no, where is the wrong point? Is my handling is wrong, or something in all of those studies could be wrong? So this is how the approach I done to the everything. So for me it's important, there is the new bone, there is the blood. Or we do the surgery, we know that the opening it, we have such a picture for us is absolutely different. While that you are opening and you see just some white, bony, non-fully blooded place, you need also separation. If in the periodontology, so you need the regeneration of the place, so you need this blood there. And there is, you start to drill, it's another patient, another area, start to drill, you see that coming the blood as it's supposed to be, as you are expecting to have in the healthy bone. It's not kind of just filler material. So this is give us a very more important information. In the case, so we have from the machine this opportunity, and we are going to using it. What I try to do is one of the really things that I like. It came the study. It's from the Journal of Periodontology. This journal, the autogenous bone roots as a bone blood graft, is the nice study. It's published this year, and we know that this Journal of Periodontology by the impact factor of 4.165. So it's really high impact factor. It's really nice study. You can just go read all the article that how it shows that the bone graft from the roots is really acting in the several times. They was not accepting this kind of article very easily when it comes to the proof. We have also another one to show us how they done the studies and how they got the result. But yes, their idea, the result is that, of course, it is one of the alternative of the bone materials. there is also the next study came that shows us the autogenous tooth graft material with the dental implant, how they can acting. You can see the studies from the print from one of the Iranian university. They have two main results from them. First, it was this one, that the autogenous also induction and also conduction capability is really high. And next one is this one, being the safe and reliable, not having any risk of immune response. Maybe it's sometimes we have to look at the side of it. Sometimes it's coming from the regional part, that some of the augmentation material was not accepted from the animal side. Even from that side, it was very, very important. You know, really, if you start to teach us this and you start to touch these facts, you see that it's really sometimes different, that we are saying that that one and that one, yes. And then you understand that there is nothing together with the religion, but something together with the trust of the patient. I don't want a piece of pig in my mouth. We cannot force them that you have to. So it means that even from that side, it gives us the help to use it to treat of the patient. There is a lot of more study that I don't want to waste your time that much, but what is important is this one. We don't need this. You know what is it? This is 100% biocompatible material. This is my work. I'm ashamed for it. But in that time, they persuade me by the papers that it will not look like this. Do you know how old is this picture? It's 15 years. It's after 15 years, just I trust that will be resolved. I used it. And they still have it there. I have no infection. I have the perfect filler. And I have the biocompatible material. But this is not what I wish. This I don't want. This is the reason why I believe that Alex will understand me, why I didn't trust, and I start to go step by myself, because I don't want to repeat this one in my office. Unfortunately, it's my work. But it's unfortunately my trust. So the research was done on the papers, and we said that let's go to the papers that we have, and now we are going to the office. One of the things that we use it on our patient, and one of the things that we start to using it and to proving it for ourselves and for the others, and now I'm presenting for you, is the control by the CBCTs. If you want to make a decision and you want to do some punch in something, this is okay, you know it, but it's much reliable for your patient. If you take yourself as a patient, that come today the surgery, I will make something for you, then come again, we will opening it, so it is okay. But there is one point. In the periodontal side, you cannot do it. You cannot make the augmentation to treat the periodontal pockets, then opening it and take a space from it. That one you cannot do it. It's losing the sense of periodontal surgery. So for this reason, we decided to go for the CBCT controls. And some of the patients I will show to you, but before I show the patient to you, I'll say to you again something nice that we wanted to know that how the machine works. So we take the space from the tooth of the patient, we send it to the microbiology department of the hospital university. So it came us which thing we could find out on the surface of the extracted teeth. Good. So we respect it. It has to be like this. But then we process the teeth, and the process part, send it again to the microbiology department. This test, we've done that for the 30 times. And came the result that the space is straight. So it was quite nice finding for us that what we take from the machine as a proof of our department of microbiology is straight. It's nothing either, not even also, not also aerobic, non-aerobic, and also non-defungible. So one more step thing we need to do it, then we start to do with the patient, is what will stay for us in the machine. So I take from the first guy, I made some powder, and now in my office sitting another one, and how much I have to wait, and what is in the machine. This was a question that we raised. So we take also the smear from the machine. And came the answer that the Smith from the machine also is strong. So it means it's a quite safe guide that we can use it for our patient. And this, the things that it's giving to us is like an autoclave. I mean, we are not cleaning the autoclave again after autoclaving because there's 3 autoclaves, so we understand that it's giving us enough opportunity and enough possibility to be used. Okay, so now the first patient is really the first patient. I choose the first patient, and we are asking the question why you have to do it. You're right. There was not a real indication. I choose the patient that I can handle it. It was for me very important that the patient is fully covered by any kind of complication that can happen. You never know what's going on. It's like that when you're going for holiday in the unknown country, you are saying that, okay, also I take tablets for the headache, and maybe I take also some antibiotics, maybe I get sick. So it means that you're making yourself ready for all of these things. So for this, if you have first patient, he's a guy, 18 years old, is indicated for extraction, tooth number 18. So indication of extraction we have, but indication for augmentation we don't have. So for that I will explain it for you. I'm not really know why I love that. So we do the augmentation very first. We use the PLP membrane to cover it up. And what was interesting is the CBCT. I really like this technology. It's giving us a lot of things that we cannot see by the naked eyes. So, and the CBCT is what we are respecting. What really are respecting is to, after the extraction, what goes on? It goes on the maximum level of the healing. You never have the healing. It's not like the healing can grow in the bone. We have the level of the growing. So we can respect that in that case, how much it will be the height of the bone, that it can be in the best way of the possibility be healed. So the gut is like 7 millimeter. It's measured in the CBCT. So we have the 7 millimeter bone we can have. Said, okay, nice, let's do it. We extract the things, we made the powder, we put it in there. And after the time, after like 30 days, we made the mixed CTs. And we got this result. So the question is this one that, okay, I mean, it's nice, it's like 30 days, so wait, and you will see what will happen. I accept, we wait. In the end of the presentation, I give you the result of the 2 years. I do believe that 2 years is quite enough time that you can say that your treatment is stable. Of course, like if it will be 15 years, it's much nicer. But if I will have the opportunity, in the next 13 years, I will come again here and I will present for you for that 15 years. So what is given to us is the possibility to reach from this one to this in the next 60 days. Nice answer, nice result, no complications. For me, was all every second day we call the patient. Do you have any problem? Do you have any pain? Is it something wrong? So I was really afraid. So I said, okay, we have the civil, and we can go for the second one. The second one, lady, 32 years. Because of the bad cavity, so we had to extract the teeth. And also, you see that number 48 is in the position. The extraction is we are going in another part of the density of the bone. So we are respecting and acting different between the upper 8, recently it's like the D4, that in the place that we have the lower 8 is a different structure of the bones. The CBCT again came. So what we found in the CBCTs is this one. Everybody knows that anatomical things on the picture is giving us the question. If I do the extracted piece, if I put the powder there, do the powder is quite safe for that much near to the nerve in the canal that it can be opened? So in this case, we decided to use the PLP membrane to cover the lower part of it, to be really sure, to avoid the complications. and then made the augmentation in like 90 days. You can see the result. And this is a picture after 90 days. We have the density of 344 in the average. It was interesting and important information for us that how we have which kind of the bone we are going to have it in there. Is it something like in the spaniel, you can just put your finger, or is it something is strong, and you can later on make some implants in it in the case that is necessary. So we say that, okay, what we can see, we have the presence of the C line, it means the compact one is closed on the surface, and it's really periodontally for us is very important. If you see any OPG, and we have also this C line and the compact one, it means that we have really stable. What is the difference between the active periodontal and non-active periodontal patient if they reach this line? And we have this present line too. It means that we don't have engagement of the surface soft tissue with the augmentation material closure. So we got the next patient. Again, we choose the patient that is little less getting the problem for us, so we can solve it. It's 40 years old guy in tooth number 28. So it's just riveting and just got very fast from it. You can see from the picture. The augmentation, C-line, and then we came to the next one. Is no more at number 8. We came for number 6, upper one. So this is the picture that we have on the CBCT. You found out how many wrong things. We have the vocal wall resort, we have the septal resort, we have here not correct endodontic treatment, we have here the free canal that all is lost in there, we have a lingual wall, the resorption, and also the wall. So we made the augmentation as far as you see. In this case, I think something is not in the protocol. The protocol said that using the block on the outer surface, but we know the technique that it can work, so why not in that way? So we use the block in the socket to reinforce the wall. Where is Alex? He's standing there. I remember he told me that, I told you that don't do it, we don't have it in the, I don't have it in the protocol. This is standing there. So this is what you see in there. They are the block that we put it for the reinforcing. What is the result? Yes? It's giving to me this. I think that as a professional, you can see the CTs and what you got the result. It was quite interesting. You start to move ahead. So good. We have the height, stable. We have also the lingual and the vocal wall made with no problems. And then we went for the next patient. The next patient we made the extraction. Said, okay, good, we made augmentation. And then we have more and more and more cracks in it. So you can just see some pictures. Almost the same. We have it really similar to this word. We know it. Then we have the lower one. Something is happening that when you are making the extraction, you don't have the enough augmentation material because if the endodontic sheet is true you made, so you don't have that much fulfilled. This is true. But as a space maintainer, it's quite enough that you will not have the collapse of the face. This is the result that you can see. And this is the CBCT result. I think in the CBCT result after the healing, you can see the quite keeping the height of the bone. You can have the nice healing in there. It means that in the case that the patient come later on for the implant, we have where to make the implant. At least in Slovakia, I don't know really how is the working in ruling your country, in Serbia, but in Slovakia, we know that to build up each millimeter of the bone is 3 times more expensive than the pocket preservation. This is economical for the patient. And if the patient will pay to you less, will come to you in this time also, but they smile, but the patient has to pay more, so they don't like it that much. So we got the line, and we have the next patient with the infection. The result was quite nice. So Everything looks very good. We start to using it regularly enough. But, it's coming sometimes. This is the result of the same patient. You can see that very nice one after the healing, after the time, after 90 days. But there is the patient that I really like this patient. The result after more than 2 years, I will show it to you today. This is really nice. If you have any idea about this patient, just raise the hand please and stop me and start to ask or say the question or say your idea, because I liked it. It gives to me really happiness. What is the patient? Came to me this picture by email that I have a big problem with my implant and it's made by another doctor, and if we can somehow solve it. I cannot see the basically big problem in this X-ray. There is, of course, if you are looking at this side, you have little sign of implantitis, but you cannot see a lot. Nice picture, nice implant in the middle, there is no deviation, it's like beautiful, it's keeping the distance from the distal things, it's quite enough merged from the side, it's like it's 3 millimeters from the cement to enamel junction, it is kept. This is the crown, is attached, so there is nothing wrong with it. So I said, okay, let's come to see what is going on. We came, and what we found out was this one. On the CBCT, you understand, is destroyed of the whole buccal wall. We found out that it was several times trying to make some augmentation treatment, it was not working, and it's really a problem. So, X implantation is the way that you have to go to do it, so we have to make the X implantation of these implants. Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. It's wrong by position, it's wrong on the palatal side, it's wrong the occlusion. But the occlusion, I have to say that it was not wrong from the side of the doctors because the patient has this kind of occlusion. We wanted just to copy of another things also. But there's a lot of bad things we found there. So, what I done here, I combined the number 8, the piece of the patient, with the block in the powder. We made a box with the block, put the powder, and the things that I was waiting that will come out, it came out. The patient came with non-healing surface of the soft tissue. So it means that sometimes I'm saying, thanks God, comes some complication. So I said, okay, give the time, and the patient came, said that, okay, what is the problem? That I have all the time some white things in my, here I'm looking at it. I said, okay, finger down, open your mouth, I'm looking. Yes, there is my mistake. I forgot in one place the sharp edge. And in that sharp edge, it was not possible to cover with the soft tissue. I consider it as a complication because my patient came to ask the question that something is not good. This is for his complication. So we had to trim it, leave it for 3 days. We had the feeling. I said, okay, this complication we solved it, and now let's see that what's going to happen because he won the implant in there. If you can see the inner side and the outer side of the block. You can see the powder in the middle. So good. And this, what I got the healing. Honestly, if I show to you this picture, with the first one, you can see the huge difference. This is not different of some, but it's different a lot. We are going to make the implant. We know that the implant is otherwise the picture that you saw from the first, that after drilling if the blood comes, is the same patient that I showed you in some previous slides. So we are going to make the implant. We need the stability, we need the healing. We want to see that how it will be healed in some months, years later. Good, so it looks like this. Still is nice in the intraoral X-ray. So everything looks fine. We made the implant. What we have in this implant place, please just look at the buccal wall. Already know what does it mean, the word of the buccal wall for us in the treatment. And look also here the buccal wall. So this is the implant placement. We go the bicortical placement. Is a crown, and after that, if you are looking, sorry, if I'm looking, the growth of the bone is fully covered. Is it okay? It's nice. And now we are comparing the two pictures. You remember this picture? And you remember this picture also. Look at this and look at this. This is the area of the vocal bone. It made me surprised. Really, it made me surprised. I was respecting the result, but I was not respecting this one. I cannot open it. If really I have just little reason to open it, I will open it. It gives to me the compact bone after the implant placement. You can see here the implant placement. The absolutely compact bone. So it gives to me very nice answer. Because the next one, we are already for us it's known that it really is not necessary all the time in the fully augmentation, but in the case of this patient after the extraction, so we had the single treatment. The single treatment in the vocal side we used the machine and we used the extracted piece, the implant, the vocal area that is space, and after a while we got the nice result. The thick vocal area giving to us the long-term stability. We are saying it every day to our students. You do the same. So we have the highly stable vocal wall. So what does it mean stable? I will show it to you later. There is another patient that you can see is the prenatal patient. This is quite nice. We have the big pocket, big resorption. So we use the extracted of 2/8. We made the treatment. Then in this area, you can see the stability of the bone. So it was very nice. It was actually very good. It's 1.5 years. So what is important for me is what we've done till today. All the things that we have with patients. So we had the woman and man, we had the age from the 18, 20, let's come to the time because it's 2 years till 8 till 74, had the different patients. Do you use the powder or the blood? No, honestly, I use more the powder by 14 to 86% of the usage of the blood. And we are saying that how is the stability of the height of the bone after 24 hours? We had 0.77 loss. I think it's quite acceptable. I am not so sure that I had such a result in any another augmentation materials. Then we start to do the collecting data and put the data together. We know that collecting data takes time, and so we collect the data. One of the data I can explain for you. We got the first 9 patients. The blue line is comparing, is the same patient in the site of the extracted piece in time ago, and we collect and we got the information about the bone density. And the orange line is give us the density of the site of the patient that we use the augmentation material from this system as a powder or block. It gives us the information that we have higher, now I'm saying just the word of higher amount of the density of the bone. But later we will reach to this number. That why and how much higher? What does it mean higher? No, this is higher or this is higher. It's different ones. We got the second patient, second group of the patient. We had almost the same. Of course, some places we have feedback, but it's okay. Generally, we are on this right way. We got the temporal of the patient. In some cases, if you see from the start of this graph, you can read in some cases we have the reverse the graph. We explain the result that this is the time that we start to have the PLPs base and on base side, and we start to augmenting it. In all of these cases, we have this like graph anomalies that we have in there, because the PLPs start stopping the growing or the making that much inside. You remember the number 8 logarithm 1. So they start to have that one. So this is the reason. I had to find why. And also another group of the 27 cases that it shows to us that good. So we combine all the patients together, we take the same size with the D1, D2, D3, and D4 places, we convert them together and give us this graph. You can see the two blue lines. This is the average blue line of the density in the case of the extraction of same patient in some another times extraction, how we reach the maximum stability and how we reach the maximum density of the bone. And we have the orange line that shows us that what is the average of these 86 places that we made the measurement. So we get everything together and we came to this result. Maybe this is one of the most important things that I can give to you just today as a reward. That is how it's, for me, has a big sense. It's 81 versus 81 measurement in 24 months. This is the longest we could collect because we didn't do everything in the first day. We have to collect it in the side. We are the academic colleagues, that how it works. But what we got the result. The last thing that is important is this one. What does it mean? It means that almost, not exactly, almost the maximum density of the bone that we could have from the side that is not augmented is almost in the minimum amount of the augmented side. If you see the numbers is like 283 to 555 is the average. It means we have double more stability or double time more the density of the bone, and still 555 or 500 we are making as a, we are dividing, we are putting, we are deciding that as a D3 kind of thing, the bone. So it is quite acceptable. D4, it's not really stable because we don't have a lots of market, but it's almost we are moving in the D3 place. Of course, if you see on this graph, you have some points that it shows us some jump up they had. Really, I have not exactly explanation for it why, and we decided to two of these patients, they are for the implants, so we will not drill the implant classically. We will make a punch, and we'll see that going with this patient, they're having such a high level of the density. It's quite the question that we will find the answer for it. But in this moment, I cannot say to you why in some of the patients we have such a high number. So now we are coming maybe to this open part of the discussion that do I use the augmentation material before? So yes, I start with the bias, and now this is almost I'm using. We use the xenograft. We use from the Ostovia, the Italian company. I'm sure that you know them. We use a lot of them. And also the point is, the very important point is this one that, okay, the mineralized dentin matrix, honestly, is not because I'm standing because I'm using this technique, but I'm just saying to you like friendly as a family of the dental treatment, that why not another technique? because there is also, we know that there is two other techniques that they exist, and promoting it that we can use it. Do you remember the first video? No. Claim. I don't want to do the things really manual. I don't have time, I don't want to do it that way. When came the question of the moment that tried to use the manual one, that you know that don't want to talk about the companies, but I've been in a seminar and I just raised my hand and asked a question, that, excuse me, in that time they said like 10 minutes, now they get it shorter to 6 to 7 minutes, they shorten it for 2 minutes by increasing the concentration of their solutions. I said, okay, what will happen, my question, if I forgot the minute 10 and I will go back to the material and it's minute 12? It means you remember the studies. It means the degree of the demineralization is really important to get the result. So, giving to me the understanding that if I have the 20% more demineralized, still is the same. But we know that in that study it's not like this. If instead of 10 minutes you say 12 minutes, it's like 20 minutes more you are putting the material on the demineralizing value. I put the next question, that how you are going to clean it. You rinse the water and take the gas and just suck the gas with the water with the gas, okay? And I do it several times. And I put one question there. I said that to the lady that was just said that, sorry, you have a shower or the bath? She was looking to me and she said, I have a bath. I said, okay, and you take a shower? She said, yes. I said, okay, if you take a shower, what is there after you? Almost nothing. And if you take a bath, you are coming out, you have to clean the bath. This is the difference between washout and bath system. If you use the washout system, you can clean and rinse everything. And if you use the bath system, is there any proof that there is not saying anything there? And she told me that it's not harmful. I said, my question was not if it's harmful. My question was this one, if you are washing quite enough the things that you want to without artificial material. Oh, this was not nice, second not nice question. The third not nice question came from me that said, okay, you have this plastic grinder, and is there any study that you are not scratching because you're grinding everything? You are not scratching from this material. And I got the answer that, I mean, these answers I don't like it. The answer was this one, that no, but we believe that the producers say that everything said that everything is fine. I don't think that I can say to my students that, okay, trust it because someone said. There is no study, there is no, either one paper that they control these things. Then I said, okay, let's put the next not nice question that in my office, I have it almost like really warm. Even in the winter, you are coming to my office because we have just shorthand and just changing. Everybody is saying that you have it here, like at home. I said, yes, because we are here 10 hours a day, and I cannot have to just close on myself. So in that case, we have it warm. But in another colleague that is a very good friend of mine, she was working for me for like 8 years now. She opened her own surgery clinic. She's opposite side. She is not heating even in the winter. When I'm going there, I think that it's really cold there. She's working at like 18, 19 degrees. I mean, something is different. So I put the question, is it in your protocol same acting in the room temperature of 19 and 29? This is a simple question. She told me that it's not supposed to be different. But we know that it is not the answer. How come it's not supposed to be different? It's almost 10 degrees different. But honestly, it's 10 degrees. If you will go to his office, you will go to those. I promise you, to her office. So this is a question that never came to answer. If I want to decide to give something to my patient that they will come again, so I have to answer the first basic questions that they have. Then I said, okay, and I reached to another technique that is look like optimized. I said, perfect. Something came small, compact. Again, the name I think all of you know what I'm talking about. I said, okay, came small and compact. They look like nice, and let's have the look to it. I said, okay, but is the same manual one made in the understanding of somehow automatic? Because the question of temperature stayed there, and it's just the dosing of everything was like given by the machine, and I couldn't accept it. Even still was a little problem with the grinder of the system. Then I decided to use this white box because it giving to me the temperature, the process, the vibration, and everything is under the control. If anything goes wrong, I have the number of it, that is this material that you have, it is not useful. And someone said that, it's coming, the colleague said that, okay, it's maybe cost higher. I said, okay, but this is like 2 machines that you buy, because giving to also the block. And really know how important for us is the using of the block. So I'm moving forward, I'm using also the block in this way, that after the extraction of the disc, we are keeping the picture of it. We are not cutting in the 2 pieces, we are just cleaning it. And as it is, we are using for the pocket preservation. So when we have this kind of the result, it means that also for the other patient that they don't want to make any implant, they want to just the prothesis, so we can give to them. I'm not saying that it will not be resolved, no, but it takes longer. The periodontal teeth after extraction, after cleaning, we can have the full fill easier. So it means that I'm using it for periodontal patients, I'm using for implant patients, pocket preservation, for the sinus lift, reinforcing of the buccal walls, and now we have a new idea to use thickening of the buccal wall in the orthodontic treatments. So if I will start to do it, I will let you know, because we have a lot of orthodontic treatments that they are extracted some piece, number 8, number 4, and so on, and it stay. So we want to know that if it's possible to make, because if you remember a lot of pictures from CDCTs, you see that the buccal wall is very thin, you see almost all the teeth out. So in the orthodontic treatment, they have to be really careful that they will not just push out the root out from the bone. So in that case, we are thinking that if it's possible, that we reinforce the buccal wall with this technique using the block. So it's the new challenge for us. We are going to be using it, and we are going to try to do it to see that what's going on. Because as you are making it thinner, it's more flexible. Still, we don't have the resorption. So in that case, we can use it also for this reinforcement. This is the theory. I don't know if it will work, but it will be. So I'll just let you know. Anyway, almost I have 5 more minutes, and I want to say maybe some little short word that if it's not necessary to do anything else, you know this picture is from the literatures. We are using this picture for the student, how come the resorption. So we are saying that we can resorption after the stage 1, in the stage 2 we can make the resorption. Because I don't know how it works in other places, but this is less convenience for the implant. And you have to make it like this. So we have split system, we have buccal wall, we can make the membrane, titanium membrane. So, but when we have this in the stage 2, so why not to make the preservation? It's very simple, and this one is not necessary that the operator will be periodontist or will be implantologist or the maxillofacial surgeon. No, it's just extraction that can be fulfilled the extraction socket, so that it can be quite useful. This is the thing that I see that it comes in the future. And for us as an implantologists and periodontologists, it's good to have some place to make implants. And I got the excellent result. I have to say that really I'm happy for it. Thank you that you've been here. If there's any question, if I know the answer, I will be happy to answer. Thank you.